Hey guys, Jim Chester here live with David
Touhill.
Touhill.
Dave Touhill here.
Dave Touhill, and we're both just where?
Alaska. Yeah.
So we were both in Alaska, and what were you doing there?
So yeah, I was just working. I work for Dr. Josh Axe, and I was working on some Facebook ads for our platform, and just kind of working remote, living the laptop lifestyle. So what about you? What were you doing there?
I was there chiro hustling is what I do. I scheduled in 232 new chiropractic patients for one office.
Dude, I don't know if you guys are following Jim on that whole thing, but that was pretty incredible. I was like, what's this guy doing? I was like, because I was in Alaska, and like, if you have some like halibut or if you fish, people trade for stuff. So I was like, dude, Chester must be walking around just giving people fresh halibut if they go to this chiropractic office. That's awesome, dude. That's incredible. 232 patients in 12 days. Were you guys at an event or something?
We were at the Alaska State Fair, so I had a chance to put on my Carney sunglasses and to flag people down and say, hey, are you looking for a good chiropractor? Do you guys have a family chiropractor? So that's what I was doing.
So what was your one-liner that got most people to stop and get talking to him?
Are you looking for a good chiropractor?
For a good chiropractor. And one thing I have noticed though in Alaska in general was that chiropractor is pretty well known. Like people like going to the chiropractor, like natural medicine. So if you're looking to practice, especially in Homer, Nebraska, there's only one chiropractor there in Homer, Nebraska. So if you're looking for a place to practice, Homer, Nebraska is the place to go.
Yeah, and the thing is that there's only 100 chiropractors in all of Alaska.
And there's a lot of people there. So if you don't mind cold winters and you're okay with wearing boots all day, Alaska is a great place to go. It's beautiful as well. So
I know you helped me tag this a little bit better than what I was doing on my own, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
It's always nice to have symbiosis and to work together on things. Yeah. I know that you're a chiropractor, right?
Yep.
And tell me a little bit about your story. How'd you become a chiropractor and where'd you go to school and all that?
Yeah, so I grew up actually. Let's make a long story short. I actually had a hip discrepancy that I didn't know about when I was younger, and I was playing sports, but I was always leaning to one side. And I went to Dr. Fred Rossi, who's in New Jersey. You probably know who Fred Rossi is. And he corrected my hip. I was walking straighter. I was actually able to, in basketball, I was able to dribble to both sides because I had this hip discrepancy. And fixed the hip discrepancy. And then my brother-in-law, Dr. Pete Camiolo, who just spoke just now, he went to chiropractic school. When he graduated, he kind of brought me into the fold and went to Life University, graduated June of last year, and now I work on the physicians marketing and coaching for Dr. Josh Axe. So,
which I think is really exceptional because I think what Dr. Josh Axe is doing is something that all chiropractors aspire to do. They want to be bigger than themselves. Yeah. They want to serve more people with not just their hands. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about how you're helping him do that.
Yeah, so one thing I've found was, especially being in chiropractic school and then graduating, and I worked at Dr. Pete's office actually for a year, and he was seeing 1,000 patients a week, all cash practice, amazing practice. And one thing I noticed was the marketing there, it lived and died with the marketing, right? How many screenings we went to, how many events we went to. And so what I saw was, hey, is there a way that we can do this and automate this a little bit better? While screenings can be great, if you don't have someone like Jim Chester, which if you are looking for someone to do screenings, this guy, I'd hire him, to get an influx. It's great for an influx, but what are they going to do day in and day out long term? And we do a lot of what we call automated marketing. So finding ways to have your marketing run without you so that when you're able to, on the weekends and when you're not at the practice, it's still growing. So things like our preferred local provider that we're about to launch with Dr. Axe, where we're going to recommend doctors from our website. But even just, a couple of tips for docs when they're for building building your brand on social media. One is follow me at Dr. David Touhill. So that's what you need to do whenever you're on there, get people to follow you.
Or follow me.
Yeah, or follow both of us. But I do post a lot of stuff, tips on how to, on best times to post. But I would say the number one thing when you're talking about like posting content is go to a Facebook page. It doesn't have to be Josh, but go to a Facebook page or go to a chiropractor's page that's really just on the cutting edge of social media, right? Find the docs that's on the cutting edge and do what he's doing, because he's already done the research. So a lot of us try to learn it ourselves and figure it. So if you're talking about just posting regularly on Facebook and you're like, well, what time's the best time to post? Find the chiropractor or doctor that posts, and a lot, and figure out what time does he post and do the exact same thing. I'm sure he'll be fine if you do that. And then when it comes to content, go to the same guy and look at what's the content that he's posting. What do they like? What do people in your area love to see? And then posting, the best time to post for the most part is 4 to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Later on at night it'll work as well. But yeah, I would say consistency too. Jim does a great job with this. He's consistently posting, asking questions. A great thing to do is ask questions, create that, that little box where you have the colored background like he did for this, and ask a question to create a conversation. And from that conversation, you could probably find a few patients from that. So those are my two, tips for posting on Facebook.
Hey, and I like that a lot because you know how many times people come up to me and they say, hey, man, thanks for posting that. And now, just a little tip for you guys. If you guys do have questions, send them to me, and I'll post them for you. Because what's happened now, Dave, is people have been ghostwriting for me, and then I tag them in the post, and then they get their question answered. But they know because I've created the momentum with that platform now that I've created the ability to be the question asker, and now I'm going to get the reel in of content like I was fishing for halibut in Alaska. So now I can always catch halibut when people don't know how to bait their own hook. So now I'm baiting people's hooks for them. Yeah,
and the key is consistency, and you've been consistent. Dr. Josh, if you think about how much content we post, how many articles we create, we're consistently providing value, but then starting conversation. I even think the trend is moving more towards, think about it 6 months ago, that didn't exist. Like, who's at Chirofest? And it's like everybody's saying, I'm here. It's because people want that community aspect. So if you can build that community in your town with your practice and consistently posting, it can be super effective.
To me, it's not always about the quantity, but when I looked at my feed this morning when I asked, I had guys like Matthew Luke that responded, Stephen Franson that responded, Dave Touhill was responding. And, whenever you do something like that, a lot of times people that have the interest of your topic will, respond to it. But I posted that thing at like 2 in the morning.
Yep.
So that probably is not the ideal time to make a post. Yeah. But after 4 flights yesterday, my bandwidth is already extended. Hey, so that was a time I did post.
And I think you got quite a good group of people commenting back on it. So
I'm going to ask you, which I don't know, when's the best time to do a Facebook Live?
Facebook Live, it really depends on your topic. You need to think about who your audience is. So when you're doing a Facebook Live, or really any type of marketing, whether you're doing a post, whether you're doing a live, or you're doing a Facebook ad, is you want to think who's your audience and what time. So if you're talking to, moms who have 3 kids that are in their 3 teenage kids, well, if their kids are in school, the mom's probably hanging out, so probably 10:30, 11. So some of our target audience for Dr. Axe is, moms and women from the age of 30 to 50, right? Because those most people are going to buy our product. We know that from studying, who buys it. So we're going to go live from 10:30, because that's the most time that they're going to have already sent the kids to school, have settled down, they'll maybe be on the computer at that time. And then later on in the evening, I would say after dinner is probably a great time to go Facebook Live. Anytime during the day, if your target audience is the working class American and you try to do a Facebook Live from 3 o'clock, unless they're playing hooky from work or they work remote like we do or we're blessed to do, they're probably not going to see your live. So I would say about 10:30 in the morning, and then 7, 8 in the afternoon. And also look at, that's Central Time for me. So if you're in California, though, that's the same time, but California time, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the afternoon is a great time as well.
So as you can see, I don't know if you can see a time clock or anything, but I think we're about the sweet spot for that. We're between 4 and 5 right now.
Yeah, 4 and 5 minutes is great, depending on the topic. And one thing, and I'm sure you've talked about this, Jim, is you've done a great job with this. There's lights everywhere here. We got this whole setup, this rig set up. Is people need to be able to see you, but most importantly, hear you, right? A lot of times they'll see these posts and it's a very dark room and the guy's just talking on an iPhone. Get a decent microphone. It doesn't need to be a great setup like this. You can just get a basic Shure microphone for your iPhone, but be able to see you and hear you. And 5 minutes is a great, 5 minutes is a great target time. So
I'm going to switch gears with you just for a moment, and let's glean a little light on Paul Reed and what he's done here with Chirofest, because I know that's why we're standing toe-to-toe together, knee-to-knee, as some people might say in the chiropractic world. So how did we get knee-to-knee, and can we just share a little bit of admiration and glean a little bit of light to Paul Reed for what he's done with this program?
Yeah, Paul Reed's just an example of just someone that just is a giver. And when you give, just like when we're talking about, you providing people with content, Paul's just provided that for the chiropractic profession for so long that when people see that, they see that authenticity, people want to be a part of it. The authenticity, I came all the way from Nashville, so this is a 5-6 hour flight. It's like, wouldn't miss it for the world, because the type of person that Paul is, just an authentic person. You're just going to get people that respond to that. So yeah, I mean, that's he's one of the best in the world at what he does. He throws a phenomenal conference. If you ever have not been to this, it's, I've been to a lot of chiropractic conferences. I kind of jumping around, and this is, if you're especially on the West Coast, this is a no-brainer. So,
and I'm going to close out with you shortly, but tell people, if they aren't leveraging social media, what that means, what they're not accomplishing.
Yeah, so Dan Sullivan, the chiropractor, who is just a legend, I think we'd both agree, he tells me, he constantly is reminding me, and I've worked with Dan for a long time, is we're undergoing the greatest technology shift in history. Just think about this for a second. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, none of this stuff even existed, and now, I don't even need to leave the house, and I can get my car delivered to me. Everything can happen through the internet. So everybody's shifting to the internet. So if you're still sticking to old school marketing techniques and not using social media, it's going to slowly pass you on. So some people will say, hey, well, I know I still have an audience. Well, you might have an audience that's over the age of 50 or 55, but as they grow older, the people that are 40 now that use social media at the time are going to be 50, right? And you're not going to be able to communicate with them anymore. So right now, the people that, and again, Dan Sullivan, the people that switch over to social media marketing now are going to be, it's to be the same as the people that used the internet for the first time, right? Where they became, wealthy overnight just because they were able to access that at the beginning. So super important to just, to definitely invest into social media marketing. But then also, last thing is, I see so many people that try to do it themselves. And as a chiropractor, speaking to other chiropractors, and I say, I've been blessed to be really, really good at Facebook ads. I do it, I spend tens of thousands of dollars a month in Facebook ads for the different platforms that Dr. Josh uses. But I don't actually run the ads themselves. I don't write all the algorithms and do all that. We have staff that do that. Doctors, we went to school for 8.5+ years to be technicians. We're not marketers, right? So learning from people that are doing it the right way. And that doc that I mentioned earlier in the show, that's a model what he's doing. He's obviously not learning that all himself. He's going to people that know what they're talking about. So I just encourage you, if you're doing Facebook ads, reach out to some of these people, some of these guys that we're recommending that can do Facebook ads. Jim's, I'm sure, has some great recommendations for looking to do Facebook ads. If you're looking to do content marketing, shoot me a message if you have any questions about that, content marketing. But look at other people that are doing content marketing, a great job at it, and model them. Don't try to recreate the wheel. So.
And Dave, just from this morning, I've checked my inbox. It looks crazy. So a lot of people have been reaching out to me, because I say at the end of these, sometimes if you guys want help, use me as your trusted resource. I can always give you guys the right fit that might be able to help you. I'm not going to say they are the right fit, but I'm a good matchmaker for people that need help. So if you guys do want help doing Facebook ads marketing, I would recommend Chris Burfield, Billy Sticker, Chris Burfield. Reach out to those guys. Both those guys are doing a really good job of filling offices with these Facebook strategies. If you guys want help doing Instagram marketing, Shane Kurth is the guy. He's with Apex Chiropractic out in Louisville, Colorado. Good friend of mine. And the thing is, when you become friendly with people, it's easier to recommend them. And when you see them being men of integrity or women of integrity, people that are doing high-level services, helping people and getting results, it's easy for us to band together and put arms around each other and say, hey, look to him for what he does well. Look to me for what I do well. If you guys want this type of thing at your event, I'll come do Facebook Lives and interview the people that are at the event. I'll talk to the students that are there. I'll talk to the vendors that are there, the people that are on stage, the organizers. And the reason that we did this, Dave, is so I could show people how much energy is in this building at this event, so that this event could live outside the four walls. So that's why we're doing these Facebook Lives here. And I will tell you guys just a quick nugget, a gold nugget. If you're not leveraging social media, either Instagram or Facebook, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. And there's a lot of money to be earned if you are leveraging those platforms.
Last thing, I know we've said last thing 12 times. What this setup that he has here, even if you have just a Diva light, think about this for a second. This is an idea. Setting up a Diva light, which you're familiar with the Diva ring, and putting an iPhone there and having it in the corner of the office, and putting on the big sign above it, testimonial corner, and going live, for 3 minutes. You're in the adjustment, you adjust somebody, and someone says, Doc, I've had this issue, and for 12 years I just got off 6 medications. Be like, great. grab them, bring them over to the Diva Light, press play, or go live, or just create a video, put it on YouTube. But even going live, I mean, to your audience and saying, hey, I'm here with Donna. Donna, what did you just tell me? Don't script it. Just have a camera with a decent microphone and a little Diva Light. And just like we were saying, showing you're here to show people, what's going on, the energy that's happening at this event. People knew what was going on inside our chiropractic offices and could see the energy there. I mean, you're going to get that's a great testimony on social media. So. And
it's a lot more reputable than a bunk Yelp review, which people are constantly complaining about that platform. And, there's a lot of, snags and snares out there when it comes to the truth about chiropractic. But like you said, how I got into this profession, I started doing testimonial videos for offices. So then I realized the power of the testimonial like you're talking about. And if we started doing these things live, I'm just going to give you one cautionary thing. Make sure you get a signed consent form before you use anybody's information with these testimonials, because that's a highly important thing to make sure that you do have clearance to use people for promotion and sales of your practice.
Yep. Awesome, man. Well, it's good to jump on with you today, and maybe we'll do another one tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe find Dan Sullivan.
Thank you so much, everybody. If you aren't at Chirofest 2017, get here 2018 and make this a part of your yearly calendar, because Paul Reed and his crew are out here bringing the best talent to you with the best information, subluxation-based conversations, the best speakers out there, and we love and appreciate every single one of you. Stick with me for the rest of the weekend. I'm going to be coming to you live from Chirofest, and just stick around because you're going to hear more tick, and we're going to have more amazing speakers. So thank you so much.